I was trying to describe what I was thinking is this is taking away from us. And the best term I could try and coin was micro accomplishment deprivation. Because you think of all those little achievements, like if you think you're working on a report or you're working on, if you're in school, a project, or even coming back to the thesis, you make a series of micro accomplishments, every few minutes where you're having to think about how you structure something. You're having to think about what you want to say in that presentation, in that writing assignment, in that paragraph, for instance. You're continually having these wins to get to a superior product that you build. We see it in UX as well. For building a design, you've got a whole series of micro accomplishments to get to a great design. You start building the base and you're making all these things that are clicking. But now, what does that mean when those sort of small decisions are just being offloaded? You think, well, I could decide what I want to write in that paragraph, but I could also ask AI what it thinks would be best for me to do there. That slowly, I think, just starts wearing at your mental strength. This is my thought. Like, I'm having to stop myself and say, no, I don't actually need to ask it for that, because it's more difficult doing it myself. But I know that I'm still going to build that resilience, that sort of mental processing strength and resilience, that otherwise it would be eroded. Because I know if I just keep doing that, it's going to be more and more difficult to make that decision myself. And I think that's one of the biggest things we're sacrificing with AI. And what we need to be conscious of with younger generations is, how do you stop that being eroded? And you make sure that you can keep accomplishing things yourself, even if it's, those micro accomplishments.
This is a good thing to kind of introduce what is our potential 3 different futures that can happen as we evolve and get into AI. Basically, we have kind of the first option is that coevolution, where it's that humans plus AI in partnership. And this is where you still have to introduce that curiosity, the discernment. It's taught alongside that prompt engineering, where you can give people harder things to solve, especially at school. Like, give them a more complex task or project to go through, leveraging AI for some of the more time-intensive stuff, and then have them do the critical thinking of putting things together.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they should do, because you are able to do more. Like calculators, you're able to do long division. So now you could create much more complex, accounting and spreadsheets and things like that faster by doing the calculations automatically, while you can figure out like the strategy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, Makona, if you've heard of automation bias.
Possibly.
It was interesting. It came up when I was doing the research, and it's a tendency to favor suggestions from automated systems and then to ignore contradictory human judgment or data. So as part of this co-evolution, you think, okay, how do we handle automation bias as well? Because, you can't sort of repeatedly choose that sort of system one thinking backed by machine. You go the easier route with machine, opposed to actually going back to the micro accomplishments as well. Deferring back and saying, all right, we can use it as that great tool, but how do I still keep my own independent thoughts and just use that as a support, not a source of complete truth and direction, I guess. Just wanted to add that in there, because I thought if with co-evolution, that's something that we definitely would come up against and have to think about how we move forward with that.
I'm curious, in video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company IIIMPACT, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.